Holy, 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 muchness enough and you in this world. Nothing in this world. Jesus, you're the cup that won't run dry. Your presence is heaven. Mm. Jesus. Achayinza olabika Yesu omumanyi w'entalo achayinza olabika Hope you're doing well with your family. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for your loving kindness. We want to thank you for this time. Let your will be done. Let your love prevail as we study. Continue to speak to us. Continue to show us your goodness. Just a vase so, and I'd increase and you increase. Lord, may I be that place you deposit and others withdraw for the glory of your name. May I never carry dirty water in my heart to affect others. May you never allow the negativity the devil has sent in my life to affect anybody else. May it stop with me, and may you remove it completely for the glory of your name. Lord, I thank you, and I give you praise, I give you glory, I give you honor. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, King of glory. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you for the parents, to the leaders and the leaders. Speak to them, speak to your minds, their bodies, for the glory of your name. I give you praise, Lord. I give you glory. I give you honor. In Jesus' mighty name. A giant's America. Yes, I'm already went out. A giant's America. A giant's America. Yes, I'm already went out. A giant's America. Our chains are like yes, someone went at all. Our chains are like our chains are like. Hope you're doing your exams and you're not failing. Please don't fail the exam. Everyone has their paper to see to make sure you don't fail. Don't get an F, please. You might be getting exams in biology, you might be getting exams in mathematics, you're getting exams in chemistry, physics, history, geography, economics, communication, language. Make sure you don't fail. Please. Make sure you don't fail any. The exams are not a group affair. The exams are personal. Don't forget that part. Kantarana, akambamba shine, akambuda Yesu wanje, atineshome. We are going to read something here. Tata, thank you so much. I need to work within the budget. Need to work within the time frame, so because I have an important meeting, an emergency meeting too. You are welcome if you're new here. If you're not new here, either way, you're welcome. Those who are new to the page, and probably someone talked about me, it is always good to know the person they're talking to you about. Then you're sitting there and you assume, yes, you need to get a personal encounter with this person for you to understand them. It's the same thing with God. If all the time the man of God is going to be telling you about God, they're telling you how they are God, they are God, they are God, tell them, I need to know your God. To have your God, I need to take your God home. Don't leave God at church with the man of God. Become the man of God. And the problem is you go to ministries, you frequent ministries, you don't go to church. The concept of the words you use is the problem. It's because there is a problem with communication, because there is a problem in reading and understanding. That is where we are getting the problem from. And because mistakes were made, they don't want to correct their mistakes. They are too shy to admit that they made mistakes. So since they are shy, I will do the honors. Yes, I will. Oh, no, God has not called them in that area. But they are running their races. Everyone comes out and they say, the Lord told me this. Because God called him to be an evangelist. All they know is to evangelize. And God gave them particular gifts. So they stay in that small area, in that box. When they try to step out like this, they can even fall because they're not called in the other area. And men who can admit that this area is not mine, let me bring a man who is called in that area, they feel shy about it. Because the man God is telling him to call, they have a physical fight. Then you, the students, you're going to get half-baked work. Right now, there is nothing to be shy about. Because the more we shy about things, the more people die and people don't make it to heaven. Yet they are saying they've been with the Lord for 30 years. Then they don't make it to heaven because they didn't feed well on earth. The best thing they taught you at church is to put on makeup, comb the hair, you need to smell good. They taught you how to present yourself. when inside is empty. And you ended up eating the wrong food. And then when it is time for exams, you've got nothing to write. Because the exams you're sitting are not for an evangelist. The exams are for a prophet. And you've never met a prophet. Why? Your evangelist is the prophet at the same time. Yes, your evangelist can prophesy. The gifts are given to believers. But is not called in the office of the prophet. That is why when it comes to him or her, they are just prophets. I am reading from this book. It's called Politics in the Developing World. And no, my dear, I'm not picking that call. I've been calling you and you're not answering. Sorry. The time is mine now. Yes, when I give you my time and you take it for granted, my time is my life. Yes. So if you think I'm always going to wait for you to finish your things, things changed a little bit. Our actions make people react differently. We take people for granted for too long. When it is your turn, you keep telling us that it's about you. You tend to forget that it's a circle. You're going to need someone. You cannot wait. You cannot you cannot sacrifice for somebody else, but you want somebody to sacrifice their time. It doesn't work like that. The Bible says otherwise. You tend to forget that you're also going to be at a point of need. Because that is love. I will call the person later. I told people, especially back in my country, to learn the time. This is my life. So for you, when your day is done, you've gallivanted with your family, you went to the party, and when you feel like, now, Katita, my dear, I also had an emergency, but I'm not an emergency in your life, right? And then you teach us about love. Love only works when it is about you. Yes, when you get to know Esther, we're going to be friends. And people tend to start, because of that, then they start, I name Patu, I name Pisembi, Mukwana. The time we are in, I studied you as an encyclopedia. You're going to study me. If you think my time with you is done, so long, farewell, it's time to say goodbye. Yes. We are given time. Everyone is given a time frame. But what do we do in that time? Let me make you laugh. I've been running many projects privately, including educating people here and there. Let me leave that part, because I know someone is going to misunderstand things and get annoyed about it. Because you tend to have a low IQ in all this. That's the problem you have. I don't really have time to waste with people whose thinking capacity is below the belt. And you don't have a belt. That is the other problem. When you don't have a belt, I'll not be able to help you with your mathematics. Open the book. Yes. You never have the time. You never have money. You never have everything. I'm like, Lord, who does that? And these are the leaders you're giving us? These are the ones training leaders? East or West, you're failing everything. Politics in the Developing World. By Peter Brunel and Vicky Randall, 2nd edition. It's Oxford Online Resource Center. Yes, you can Google it and get it, just in case you're a fan. So, it is, the topic is people power and alternative politics. Okay. There is an overview. In the last 2 decades of the 20th century and into the 21st, a number of people power movements challenged the authoritarian logic of non-democracies to promote democratization. Similarly, people power movements have merged to challenge the dominant development logic in the post-colonial era, as well as the more recent neoliberal logic of development advanced by the governments of the most developed countries. Transnational corporations and international economic institutions. The chapter looks at people power movements that challenge political authoritarianism in the Philippines and Myanmar, and people power movements that challenge development policies in India, Thailand, and Brazil. It explains how these social movements mobilize people and generate pressure for social change for pragmatic or principled reasons. People power movements tend to incorporate methods of non-violent action in their struggles against governments, landowners, and corporations, drawing on human rights. I want you to follow something you understand. Yes, I want you to follow something you understand. I love doing things with a clear understanding. Meaning, I ask God to give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that I can easily implement. I am not so much a bandwagon lifestyle person. Me and bandwagons, we do not really rhyme. I tend to have a mind of my own because I gave my life to Christ. And it's always about the mind of Christ. If you are annoyed and you close people out, that is you. I normally don't do that. Why? There is an assignment I'm supposed to accomplish with you. When my time is done, I'll leave. I don't overstay my stay. 2026, when I get in a place and when I sit down and ask the Lord my next level, and I feel, because every time my time is done in a place and I overstay my stay, chaos comes in and I'm always hard. When I say bye officially, I'm not looking back. I am not. I don't care how enticing, how beautiful, how sweet talking you can be. Because we don't know how to love on people. When you need help, you come talking to people in a sweet way. Then you destroy them. After getting what you want, you destroy them. My dear, wages of sin is death, and no action goes unpunished when it is negative. Whatever you're doing, your deeds, those are seeds you're planting for your next in line, your own children. I told you never get promoted on someone's tears. Never. Never connive to want a particular place. Work for it. Don't ever lie to someone when you want something. I normally move with my belt. I move with my breastplate. I make sure my head is covered. I walk with a double-edged sword, not a table knife. I wear the right shoes in the right season. I have 33 bones in my back. He has my back. So in case we bump into each other, in case you're the type who loves rubbing shoulders. In case you're the type who sees a gift in someone and you want to tap in, be careful with people like me, just in case, because I'm not alone. We many. I might look soft and sweet, but if you step wrong, Genesis 12 will sort you out. So if you want to follow something, when you see someone on social media and you're like, oh, I want that person to be my friend, I want you to be careful. The devil wears Prada. The devil has always wanted to connect you to the wrong channel. Careful with those you see in the net. Careful with those you find on WhatsApp groups. Careful those you find at work. Careful when you get married into a family. Careful. Make sure the Holy Spirit leads the journey. Careful, you need to know the territory you're in, because not every territory is yours. Two lions cannot roar in the same kingdom. They can run in the same park, but everyone has their own seat. Careful which altar you're standing on. Continue. Drawing on the human rights and suitable development discourses, they promote alternative visions of politics and development. This chapter discusses how increasingly these movements are becoming connected through transnational networks and are part of an emerging global justice movement. In many parts of the developing world, grassroots movements have emerged as a political force to be reckoned with. People excluded from politics and decision-making are increasingly engaging in collective action and participating in social movements to defend their livelihoods, promote a more equitable distribution of land and resources, challenge state and corporate-driven development policies, and advance democratization. Marginalized people's sufferings from the negative consequences of the development project and the globalization project of neoliberalism. You can go and look for a man called Michael, 2004, from that book. That is a reference or citation. He wrote that. He did some research. Engaging in struggles against deforestation, overfishing, industrial and export-oriented agriculture, increasing land inequality, and large dam projects. Now, if you're under the people power umbrella in any nation, whatever I read here, make sure it is what your movement is doing. Because the younger generation loves copying and pasting, and because they know that you'll not go ahead and research where they got their ideas from, you'll just tag along. I want you to be careful out there. Your life depends on it. You either a sacrifice or you are the one who is going to be in charge of the sacrifice. You choose one of the two. You're either used as a sacrifice or you will be the high priest in all this. So careful with your leaders. Leaders at work, leaders in family, leaders in government, leaders in entertainment, that is music, dance and drama and sports, leaders in economics, leaders who are academicians, that is education, leaders in religion. There are 7 spheres. You're either going to become the sacrificial lamb or you're going to be the high priest. When you become the high priest, you are a partaker of the big cake they share at the end of the day. So, you cannot be both. So I want you to be careful. I am opening your eyes because I care. You have children. Who needs a father? Who needs a mother? There are certain things that are not worthy your time. Because if it involves your life, allow them think that they have won. The one who is breathing is the one who starts a company. The one who is breathing is the one who gets a job. The one who is breathing is the one who becomes a manager, not the one in a coffin. If your health is bad, take care of your health. If someone is using it against you, they will pay for the consequences. God is watching. It might not be today, but God is watching. He sends his word, and it never goes back void. And God is willing and ready to fight for those he consecrated and separated for himself. Earlier in the morning, we saw that Ishmael was not a partaker of the covenant God made with Abraham, because Ishmael was never God's plan. Some of your jobs are not God's plan, and God is going to take you out. He's going to create an environment to take you out, because he knows you carry pure blood. He doesn't want you to get contaminated. Of course, it will be very hard for you because you cannot imagine life without that job, because you're not taught how to wear the army uniform right, because you lack a shield. You will soak yourself into misery. Yes, your teams are going to throw you out because your blood is pure blood. God works with purity. When a team starts to compromising itself, you're going to clash with them. When a team is eating the wrong food, when you work with a team and all they know is an apostle, you're going to clash. If you work with a team and all they know is an evangelist, you're going to clash. If you work with a team and all they know is a prophet, you're going to clash. If you work with a team and all they know is a bishop, clashing has to happen. They cannot stand the power you carry because it's purity. They still lack ingredients to get the pure oil. They don't know refineries. When gold and silver put together, you will know the difference. You're going to go through pruning. I want you to be careful. It's going to be pruning from God, and you're going to be like, people don't love me. It's because the blood you carry is pure blood. It went through a refinery process. And the honey is pure. Until you know who you are, until you ask the Lord why he created you, you will continue compromising yourself because you want to fit in and make them happy. I do not lie to get promoted. I will not fire someone because someone hates them. If you want to do it yourself. Your people under you make you look good. You get good results because the people who are under you. Let me tell you something. You are a leader. You will pay for the consequences of your team's crying as you're going up and you're destroying the ones you step on. You wear your high heel and step on people? Careful, girls. The fact that you're tall, you're beautiful, the bosses all are lovey-dovey. Make sure the people under you are happy with you. Because the moment they start crying, God hears in heaven and is going to come down. You don't want to face the wrath of God. You can face the wrath of man. It's just for a small, short time. Man gets annoyed, sends you all the rude messages, shouts at you, and tells you never to come back here. When it comes to God, hope you know where they bury you. Hope your family has money to take your body back to your country. Because you might start choking out of the blue. Careful when you meet people. God tends to protect his own. Continue. So I want you to follow things that you understand. So if you're under the people power movement, make sure that what I'm reading here is exactly what you guys are doing and following. Furthermore, resistance is being mobilized against neoliberal economic policies and new enclosures. In brackets, you can read books from Harvey 2003 and Shiva 2005 for further research or reference, such as the privatization of public utilities and resources and an intellectual property rights regime that contributes to the privatization and commoditification of the knowledge and resources of peasants and indigenous people. Do the people under people power, have they talked about this when they are telling you stuff in their manifestos? Much of the resistance has taken the form of people power movements that attempt to transform the politics, economics, and social relations of developing countries. Traditional strategies such as participating in institutional politics through political parties or capturing state power through violence are increasingly being discarded. They told you to what? To get matchboxes. Continue. Let me read that again. Traditional strategies such as participating in institutional politics through political parties or capturing state power through violence are increasingly being discarded for a social movement approach that mobilizes people through loose networks, incorporates nonviolent direct actions, and promotes grassroots democracy and sustainable development. The 10 principles of sustainable societies. New democracy. Democracy not limited to periodic elections. Officials are held accountable, and there is greater popular participation in decision making. Subsidiarity, the authority of more distant levels of administration is subordinate to the authority of more local levels. Whatever decisions and activities that can be undertaken locally should be. Ecological sustainability. Rates of resource exploitation do not exceed rates of regeneration. Rates of resource consumption do not exceed the rates of renewable replacement. Rates of population do not exceed the rates of harmless absorption. Then we have common heritage. Prohibition on the privatization to prohibit on the privatization and commodification of common heritage resources. Are your groups doing that? Those are the grassroots democracy and sustainable development. the direct actions, the non-violent direct actions. I was reading from a particular table. It has the 10 principles of sustainable societies. Significantly, these diverse movements are part of the broader global justice movement that is emerging to contest the development agendas of states and corporations. New transnational solidarities and organizational networks have merged, and an increasingly globalized discourse of environmentalism, human rights, and sustainable development has provided new ways of expressing and legitimizing their claims. They're saying that this chapter draws upon the author's research that was partially funded by a grant from the United States Institute of Peace. So when you're reporting things to the United States and you are under the People Power movement, make sure that when you're reporting, whatever you're reporting is in this book, because they funded the research. So they will look at what you're saying and your videos and your cameras and your YouTube channels and Facebook accounts, and they look at the research they sent someone to do. Some of you are like, why is the US not responding? It's because whatever you're doing is not in line with what they paid for to term as people power. Sorry to burst the bubble. Funded by a grant from the United States Institute of Peace, the opinions, findings, and conclusions are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of the United States Institute of Peace. The author was funded to do research. The Institute is also leaving disclaimers. I just love the way they do things. You know, when you haven't gone to school, that's a problem. They distance themselves just in case things don't work. But they funded for the research to be done. So they distance themselves. Your boss distances themselves. You've been complaining, you have issues. They've not addressed the issues. Now, when you are in trouble, they distance themselves and they lie that they don't know anything to do with that. It is a lifestyle abroad, if you didn't know. And immigrants have learned the lifestyle and they are living it. I pray you have read the book of Deuteronomy. Continue. The opinions, findings, and conclusions are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of the United States Institute of Peace. The section People Power Movements and Development draws on Shock 2006. The subsection on India is based on Ramagundama 2001 and the author's field research in India in 2004 and 2005. The subsection on Thailand is based on Baker 2003 and Missingham 2003. The subsection on Brazil is based on Branford and Rocher 2002, Wright and Walford 2003, and the author's field research in Brazil in 2004. They allow you to use the information the way you want, but they're going to distance themselves. When things go wrong, you're going to pay the consequences. And they will say, I've never heard that person complain that they are sick. So now you're left in space between you and your God. Trust me, when you know the truth, it sets you free. God will come and fight on your behalf. Never worry yourself when someone lies about you and denies you. They denied Jesus. Simon Peter said, I don't know him 3 times. Judas Iscariot betrayed him. You have 2 people of that kind on your team. Some are your bosses, some are under you. Some are your altar leaders, your friends that you hang around with. Some are seated in your family. If they know that it will bite them, they don't want to lose. They'll make sure you fall in the ditch and they'll not send you a hand. Make sure you carry Joseph in your life, that when you're put in a ditch at 17 years of age and they sell you, you can endure the 13 years away from family. That they find you when you're 30 and you're the one calling the shots. Okay. So we go back to the 10 principles of sustainable societies. Common heritage, prohibition on the privatization and commodification of common heritage resources, such as water, land, air, forests, fisheries, culture, and knowledge, and basic service. Those are things we are supposed to hear the politicians talk about. But all I hear is dirty gumani, dirty gumani, dirty gumani, dirty gumani, dirty gumani. I'm like, am I the one with the problem? Or I should ask the schools that taught me to bring back my tuition. And when I look at pastors, I just laugh. And I'm like, are you sure you understand the politics you're running and shouting about? Because if you don't know, don't be shy about it. Even if you have a PhD in theology, you can't know everything. When you don't allow to be a student and want to be a teacher all the time, you're going to lack a profession. Without a student, there is no profession called a teacher. Next, the 10 sustainable principles of sustainable societies. That is, if there is sustainability in your environment. Diversity, resistance to homogenization and the promotion of diversity in the culture, economic, and biological spheres. Human rights, assurance of economic, social, and cultural rights, as well as civil and political rights. Those are things you're supposed to be telling us. What assurance are you giving us in the economy that you're crying about that is very bad? Yeah, you're posting all the fights on your social media handles. What is the way forward? You're getting videos of the policemen eating posho and beans. Is that wrong to eat posho and beans? Who doesn't eat posho and beans? They are at work. You have a company. Do you give people food, the right food? And how many do you hire? Some of you tell us that we need 15 minutes, 30 minutes for a break. People are sick. Do you take care of their well-being? Many people are failing at work because their welfare is bad. What is the human resource manager doing? People make a lot of money for you. You thank them with what? We have seen people doing company parties. What have you given the people that have worked for you for more than 8 years? And they've made you look good. In church, The young blood that comes around to clean the chairs every day. What have you given them? The year has ended. The kids who are always on camera, working 24/7 to make you look good with your family. The kids that work for your TV station, your radio station, your business where you sell the lingerie. Your brother's kids are working for you. How much are you paying them? And when they want to go, you don't want to let them go. You can afford to hire a profession and give them 1 million Ugandan shillings, but you cannot afford to pay that to a son of your brother. And you hired the son of your brother because they were asking for school fees. So school fees is their pay at the end of the day. Of course he has to work. You did not call his parent to fall sick. Someone's parent is sick and you tell them they're not working hard, they're not serious. Can we share the sickness and we see how far you can go? You just get malaria, senyiga, and you're all looking miserable. People have been sick for 30 years, 20 years, 13 years. For you fall sick just one day like this, and the entire family gets to know. That's so and so, oh! Mama, no! I find people sulking because your father's fallen sick for just 1 week. Your mother's fallen sick for just 1 week and you're all gloomy. You're gloomy for who? You're not the first one to have problems. People have problems. You find them and you greet them and they look the other side. You're doing it for who? It helps you, not us. Welcome to the club of people who have problems. You thought it won't come at yours. The circle is round like this. Some people have their fathers who are 90. They've never fallen sick. Their parents have started falling sick when they're in their 80s. Their fathers have worked until they cannot go to work anymore. They don't know how to look for money. Daddy brings everything. They still rely on daddy. 50 years still relies on mommy. Now you're crying, Imbuat. Your father is sick. Sure, Esther, Solome, what are you talking about? Mommy does everything for them. Without mommy, they're in trouble. If mommy dares goes, they cannot even carry the coffin, not even dig the hole. They are the orphans who are going to be seated there, and they bring yogurt. Oatmeal. They bring the apple for the orphan. When mommy goes, the one who takes over. Welcome to the club. You are joking. Continue. Jobs, livelihood, employment. Assurance of the right to work, free choice of employment, just and favorable working conditions, protection against unemployment, and the right to form and join labor unions. They're having labor unions. Do you think labor unions are helping people? Yet you pay the labor unions. They get their salaries from everyone's paycheck. When you have a problem, union looks the other side. The stewards connive with company owners to demoralize you and demote you. And they call themselves stewards representatives. They work for the union. They run around. They just walk around with the They just walk around with the envelopes. For what? You work hard and they take money out of your paycheck every week. When you have a problem, they hide. The stewards that are supposed to speak on your behalf connive with the managers inside, because the stewards are also workers inside. That is the truth that you don't want to hear, but it is what is happening. And the government is silent. And the government makes sure they take their taxes. So you pay union, you pay the government, your bosses cut the hours. What are you left with to go home? Definitely you're going to enter the borrowing system, and you'll always be a slave for the rest of your life. And the system is like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, until Jesus comes back. Now let me tell you something. You're seeing what's going on in the world? God is tired. I told you winter is going to be something else. Brace yourself. I don't want you to slide and fall. It's called an accident. Buckle up. Safety first. Careful when you're driving to work. Careful when you're driving home. Careful with the flu. Careful. You might not wake up. The season is bad, and make sure, just in case, you slide in your sleep. The other place where we can't defend you. You have done it very well. No sin goes unpunished. That one I assure you. And if you know you work with union, you are on people's tears. Labor unions, welcome to the wing of leaders. Watch your back if you're working for union. They said jobs, livelihood, employment, assurance of the right to work, free choice of employment, just and favorable working conditions, protection against unemployment, and the right to form and join labor unions. You join a labor union. Do labor unions protect the workers? Can government look into that before they take the taxes? Food security and food security and safety. Local self-resilience in food production and the assurance of health and safe foods. We have equity, greater equality between development and developing countries, between the rich and the poor within countries, and between men and women. The precautionary principle: if an action, policy, product, or technology might cause severe or irreversible harm to the public or the environment, in the absence of a scientific consensus that harm would not ensure, the burden of proof falls on those who would introduce it. Whatever I have read, the 10 principles, the ones behind the research is Canva and Murder, 2004. Social movements and people power. Social movements are organized, collective, and sustained attempts to promote social change that occur partially or entirely outside conventional politics. They incorporate extra-institutional methods of political action to promote change because government officials may be corrupt or unaccountable, and institutional political channels may be blocked or ineffective. Social movement participants are often drawn from marginalized segments of society that are excluded from decision-making processes altogether. The extra-institutional methods used by social movements may be either violent, non-violent, or combination of the two. Violent methods involve the use of violence or the threat of physical violence against living beings. These include actions such as armed attacks, bombings, terrorism, kidnapping, imprisonment, and torture. Methods of nonviolent action obviously do not involve violence or the threat of violence against living beings. Instead, they involve an active process of bringing political, economic, social, emotional, or moral pressure. Examples of nonviolent action include methods of protest and presumption, such as protest demonstrations, political rallies, and marches. This time is a little bit tricky with the internet. All in all, I want you to follow things you understand. Abusing is not part of it. Banning things is not part of it. I warned you, I told you the army came out because you abused the president. Because if you're a parent, how would you feel when your son or daughter stands and abuses you? You just look at them. I warned you before the army came out. Because if you are a leader and you love the people you want to lead, you don't lead them to do things that are demoralizing. We lost the morals. Genesis chapter 1, God created an image with the godly morals. Godly morals left the society because of sin, and leaders are just folding their hands. How can I post someone on this internet? Might have to do this in the earlier wee hours of the day, because around this time the internet is not so nice. How can you raise kids and the kids you raise are vulgar? What is the right thing to do? If someone has annoyed you, do you resort to violence? I condone the act of the army to beat people, but you pushed it. You started it. When you were being raised in your father's house, and some of you leaders on opposition, you did it intentionally because you wanted to show the world how much you hate the president and his family. It was intentional, for those of you who don't know. It was intentional. Someone uses your weakness to take you out. But let me tell you something. You did something intentional, and it involved people's blood because of the witchcraft you went in for. You're going to pay for it. Unfortunately. You're going to say that it's the army that killed the people. No. You started the fire. You're going to put it out. And every blood that has been shed, leaders that have led the violence, you're going to pay for it. Every drop. I warned you. because Uganda needs a change. But you need to first pray for the seat of the president. Because you are working with blood of kings. There are 35 of them. Royal blood was shed. And they did it themselves because they were fighting for power. And we have people in the royal family that are bitter. And some know how the spiritual world works. So they're like, if I cannot hold a gun, I can play with the spiritual world. I had to put an end to it. I needed to close the wing because I can. Ever since I came out, I told you, nope. I told you, entertainment industry, things are going to change. I guess you're seeing the change, how people are dropping out, how people are just letting go. We serve a God who created man in his image. He changes the hearts of kings. I don't need to be on ground to influence it. I serve a God dominate. When you get to that level and you can call shots with a spiritual reign, welcome to the wing of eagles. We fly above the storm. And when the lion roars, get ready. Make sure you're Daniel. In case they throw you in the den of lions, make sure your name is Daniel. Make sure you understand the book of Judges. He comes from the line of Judges. They refuse to compromise themselves. To the younger generation that eats food from the table, from the hands of men who have money, and you think you're just going to walk away with it? Careful. Everything the cankerworm ate is going to vomit it. So don't be an accomplice to something you don't understand. Make sure when you join a team. I saw a young man who joined a team. You did not understand the uniform you wore. I guess you didn't have a job that's why you joined the force. When you don't understand what it means to be in 2 Timothy chapter 2. And I hope the people who took you in understand exactly who you are. A soldier stays a soldier. Someone came out and laughed and said, they gave you some meat. Hope you chew it well. Careful when anyone removes their uniform and they're not pursued. They call them boob traps. Because you always need an insider. They call them spies. Esther, we checked him how hard. The art. You're the one who created the heart. Help you understand how that works. I'll be seated here, enjoying my cup of tea. You said that I ate food from the president's hand. You can also eat. My friend, you can also eat. All the desires of my heart. I teach here, and all the desires of my heart are passed in the country where I am seated and the country where I come from. If you know how that works, welcome to the wing. I'll come and warn you. I take my cup of tea. You stand in my way. Make sure you're ready for the next 7 years in the wilderness. When you think like an animal, Nebuchadnezzar, because you think you're the king at your workplace, you think you're the king in your WhatsApp group, you are the king. Make sure you are the king with the royal blood. Make sure you know a man called Daniel. Make sure you know a man called Merds, the fourth man in the fire. Make sure when you're making fire for someone, when you're making an altar for someone, you know that it needs 12 stones. Now, I'm going to jump a few things. There are countries. We have Bolivia, 1982. We have Brazil, 1984 to 85. Uruguay, 1884-85. Haiti, 1985. Sudan, 1985. The Philippines, 1986. South Korea, 1987. Taiwan, 1987. Chile, 1988. Bangladesh, 1989 to 90. Mongolia, 1990. Nepal, 1990. Benin, 1990 to 91. South Africa, 1990 to 92. Mali, 1991. We have Thailand, 1991 to 1992. We have Madagascar, 91 to 93. Indonesia, Nigeria, 1998 to 99. Peru, 2000 to 2001. Georgia, 2003. Ukraine 2004, Kazakhstan 2005, and Lebanon 2005. May you go and read about their history and you see how far they took their people power thing. I hope your leaders really understand what people power is. Now, the countries I have read, their symbol is not the Ugandan symbol. So when you're copying and pasting things and you're saying they worked there, Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa. It's kingly best. It's kingly best. Its symbol is a lion, which was hid in a crane. Because of what? Expatriates who came to make sure they give power to women. Uganda, do you know why no woman stood this time round? You were demoted, the wave changed when the UK got a king. The power was given back to the men by God. You didn't have a woman who can stand the test of time this season round. And it will take many years to get a woman to that upper level. Why? Women, you left your position. You want the men's position. With God, it doesn't work like that. Especially if God has a hand in your country. In God we trust. For God and my country. So if any country does not have for God and my country, your agendas will not work. So if you think Nigeria is penetrating Uganda through the church, funny enough. But be careful, Nigerians. Be careful, West Africa. South Africa, be careful. Any country which wants to engage in Uganda, make sure you got permission from God to enter the territory. The ground is a little bit shaky. There will be a dividing. And if you're on Korah's side, get ready. You just read about it in the Bible. We are just starting. Esther, my pastor got the message for next year. Your pastor from where? From Nigeria? For Uganda? Tell him or her to read these books. Tell him or her to make sure they wear the army uniform when they're entering Uganda. Ephesians chapter 6. Make sure when they are leaving, they get these books. 1995. The driver's seat is not empty. He has to complete the work. It's a nation at the crossroad. The prophecy on Uganda, all the other prophecies that are coming in, they're just confirming. It's a confirmation. Uganda is no longer getting new prophecies until this. They're just a confirmation. I want you to listen to the prophecies of your pastors from abroad, and you read this book. There is nothing new, any prophet. Last year the kings stood again. There is nothing new that has been prophesied this year about the country that is new. God was just confirming his word for the past 5 years, which are now 40. No visitor that has come to Uganda has given something new. No one. Pay attention to details. You'll be shocked and surprised. No one. And they came, they got power from Uganda. Your visitors that are visiting Uganda, the pastors, apostles, prophets, the visitors that are coming to Uganda, they came to the well. Let me hope the wells they are fetching from are not giving back. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. The internet is acting up. No prophecy. All the classes we attended that I conducted from 2020 to now, the other things I've been writing since 2009. And 2015, my hand was confirmed in the month of May, the 5th month. All we have to do is to obey and match up to the standard. Please don't end up in a coffin. I want you to see the next president next year on the 15th. Don't forget to read Proverbs 21, Proverbs 20, Proverbs 6, Proverbs 18, Proverbs 8, Proverbs 27. Make sure you pocket them. And don't forget to read the book of Psalms. It was written by leaders that you love a lot. Unfortunately, you don't match up to the standard. Make sure you read Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes. If you are a leader, I'm going to leave. May the Lord's face shine upon you. May the Lord speak to you in the night. Some of you, you're going to change your mind. Every day we get someone who has changed their mind. Yes, He's a God who changes the heart of kings. Those who are sick, may the Lord heal you. Those who don't have money, may the Lord provide. Those who don't have jobs, may the Lord put your name on someone's heart. May there be a headhunting. It is possible. God protects those He loves in the dry seasons. He did not allow Israel to die in Canaan when there was a drought of 7 years. God made sure the one who was sold became the governor. They will sell you off, they will fire you, they will throw you out, but you are the one with the keys. I pray that God teaches you how to forgive. The time Joseph was in prison, because Joseph didn't know how to work, that time in prison was to teach Joseph how to work. Because you can't be a leader when you don't know what your servants go through. Joseph's life was to sit there, read books, dream, go check on his brothers, report back what they are doing. That's all he knew. Most of you are leaders who are like that. Your life is to report people, spy on people, report them, and make sure they fail. Careful, because if you're not Joseph, there is a drought coming. 7 good years. If you can handle the drought, make sure the 7 years of plenty you have saved food that you're going to eat in your season of drought. It's a personal time. Sign out.